Hello, I'm Ross, and today I'm going to read you a story called Bubbles' Troubles, which I wrote and illustrated. Now, we're all spending a little bit more time at home recently than we used to, but I'm going to let you into a little secret. Stories can take you anywhere, places that you've never even imagined, and you don't even have to leave your home. You don't believe me? Well, let me show you. On a tropical island far, far away, the rockhopper penguins had fun and played all day. Oh, how those penguins loved to hop. They hopped, and they didn't stop until they dropped. Our story follows a little penguin called Bubble. Now, poor Bubble. Oh, he was always getting himself into trouble. He rode on the tail of a giant eel, fell into the bed of a leopard seal, was picked up by a gull and carried away, but his mum was always there to save the day. "I'm here now. All will be all right," she would tell him as she held him tight. Bubble loves his mum with all his heart. He hopes that they will never be apart. Every morning she would bring him fish from the sea. One day she did not return. Oh, where could she be? All night Bubble lay awake feeling glum. With no sign of her, it was down to him to save his mum. And so, the next morning, while the penguins were taking a bath, Bubble set out towards the forbidden path. The path was long, jagged and steep. When he reached the bottom, he had to creep, 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 for he had landed where the sea lions sleep. With their flapping flippers and terrible teeth, the sea lions are fierce, frightening beasts. Bubble stepped as quietly as a falling leaf to avoid ending up a fluffy, feathered feast. Softly and slowly, he trod without making a sound. Then he slipped on some seaweed and went crashing to the ground. He had to move fast. There was no time for a break, for the sea lions were hungry, angry, and now very awake. He bounded and pounded through the sea lions' raucous roars, whilst hopping and flopping past their crushing jaws. Rumbling and tumbling, he leapt from the drop, splashing and crashing into the water with a perfect belly flop. The sea was rough. The waves crashed over Bubble's head, so he dived underwater, reaching the quiet sea bed. And there he found a little crab, not looking too well, for a giant piece of glass was stuck atop his shell. The glass made big things small and small things big. Without hesitation, Bubble began to dig. Before long, the little crab wriggled free. Dancing and snapping his claws, he said thankfully,
"Aw, thank you, Bubble. You saved me from trouble. If ever you need help, I'll be there on the double."
Bubble was now far from land in the deep blue sea. He stopped for a rest when a voice called, "Help me!" A dolphin was being chased by the largest fish that Bubble had ever seen. It was a giant bull shark, powerful, terrible, and mean. "Follow me!" shouted Bubble, taking cover behind a rock. And as the shark approached, the poor dolphin froze with shock. "I'm feeling nice, so I'll give you a choice," said the shark in a terrifying voice. "I can chew, 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 nice and slow, or gobble, 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 and down in one you'll go." "Oh, I wouldn't do that," said Bubble with a smile. "You see, the giant penguin will be here in a while. His wings are larger than boats, his eyes big and dark. He'll be excited to meet, for his favourite meal is shark." The shark bellowed, "You don't fool me with these lies." But then Bubble held the glass up to the shark's eyes. And there, staring back, 2 giant eyes and a giant orange beak.
"Blah," said the shark, voice full of fear. "The giant penguin! I'm getting out of here."
As the frightened shark swam away and out of sight, the young dolphin pup said with pure delight,
"Thank you, Bubble. You saved me from trouble. If ever you need help, I'll be there on the double."
Bubble had now swum for hours, with his mum still nowhere to be found. Drifting through the ocean, he heard the most beautiful sound. It was a whale singing, loud and strong. The song was sad. Bubble knew something was wrong.
I'm tangled in the nets from a fishing boat up ahead. Many animals are still caught in them,
The big whale said. Bubble swam to the net and began to gnaw and chew. It was slow going with so much netting to get through. But with one final bite, he broke the last bit of string. The whale blew water from his hole and began to joyfully sing.
Thank you, Bubble, you saved me from trouble. If ever you need help, I'll be there on the double.
After a long day at sea, Bubble was struggling just to stay afloat. But there was no time to rest, as he was right behind the fishing boat. He kicked and paddled with all his might. Then he saw her. It was his mum. "I'm coming," he called to her. "Hold on tight." He tried to break the net, but just collapsed, his energy all used up. Then suddenly, springing from the water, appeared the crab, the whale, and the dolphin pup. The crab snipped and snapped at the net, while the dolphin soaked the fisherman with a giant splash. The big whale leapt as high as he could get, hitting the boat with an almighty crash. The rope snapped, and the net fell into the sea. The animals scuttled, flew, and swam away, happy and free. Bubbles swam to his mum and held her near. Now that he was with her again, there was nothing left to fear. And he thanked his friends and bade them goodbye. He needed to get home while the sun still lit up the sky. Swimming back, he stopped when he heard a terrible, whining howl. Oh, it was the big bull shark, who had earlier been so awful, nasty and foul. "Oh, please help me," the shark begged, rolling around in pain. "I'm ever so sorry for before. I promise to never be bad again." Bubble couldn't just leave the shark, so he moved in for a closer look. Sticking out of the shark's tongue was a pointed fishing hook. Bubble pulled out the hook and threw it aside. The shark turned to Bubble, grinning high and wide. "Thank you, Bubble. You saved me from trouble. If ever you need help, I'll be there on the double." Then, sensing the penguins were tired, the shark offered them a gift. "Swim onto my back," he said. "I'm giving you a lift." They swam past fish big and small. Oh, the shark was ever so fast. They were back in no time at all. The penguins waved goodbye to the shark and returned to their nest, feeling ever so tired and weary, yet at the same time rather blessed. For no matter what dangers they face, or how big the trouble, Bubble would always be there for his mum, and his mum there for Bubble. They looked to the horizon as the sun began to set, ending their day of adventure, a day that they would never forget. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm so happy that Bubble found his mum and also helps his friends along the way. Some of us are away from our loved ones at the moment, but don't worry, we'll all be together again soon. Before you go, remember one thing. Pick up a book and open your mind. Adventure awaits. Who knows what you'll find. Take care.